What are you saying, guys? We have an interesting project. Well, as always, the Devolver Digital Publisher does. So, they always publish nice games like the Roller Dorm, Neon White, Super Hot, and others. But today, we're gonna talk and see this particular game called Children of the Sun. And why this game appeals you? Well, it makes you to feel like very badass. So occasionally a game comes along that makes you feel awesome. The mechanics, vibe, art, and style, also the gameplay all fit together perfectly, making the game not just a joy to play but also scratching a specific part of your brain. Super Hot made you feel incredible talking down enemies. Roller Dome had you skating your way throughout the levels, blasting throughout your enemies. The gameplay hook of the Neon White was so finely tuned and featured some best platforming level designs in recent memory. So that's why they are connected. Children of the Sun, coming from René Roder and the publishers by Devolver Digital, fits neatly into this already stacked category. The tactical puzzle shooter features some of the most rewarding gameplay I've ever experienced recently and just makes you feel like a badass. Children of the Sun has a light but interesting narrative hook permanent each level. You play as the girl on a mission under revenge to take out the cult that betrayed your family. You hunt for the leader, wading throughout the sea of the bodies to get to the take out him. Some of the levels will start with a cutscene filled with incredibly styled stills, showing more of the history between the girl, the cult, and the leader. Isn't your face but works, and by the end, I was determined to help the girl complete her mission. Each level starts simply enough, with you loading into what will inevitably be a bloodbath of an area. The location diversity is fantastic. Several levels are set in a 4-set, but each feels so distinct from the one before that I barely noticed. One that may be a cut of road, broken down cars, or fires lighting the enemies as they walk. Another might be a campground followed by a huge overpass, adding a ton of vertically to enquadr. As you start the mission, you must pick the best spot to take your initial shot. The girl can run left and right on the outskirts of the area. Some will take you and just circle around that area, and others will limit your field of overview. So the first step is to find as many enemies as possible, marking them, and you can keep track of where they are. Then, once you mapped out lay of the land, take your shot. You have the bullet to take everyone out. This is where the hook digs deep. Killing the first enemy is great, but you must ensure you're having slightness for the next. The bullets hang in midair, letting you redirect it to the next unsuspecting cult member. Children of the Sun starts simply enough. Use one bullet as the ricochets between the enemies to take them all out without hitting anything else. There are environmental pieces you can use to advantage you when planning. Birds flying about, gas canisters, and the gas tanks in the cars. The game pushes you to make use of the entire landscape to succeed. Soon enough, the new elements are added. Curving the bullets makes you reconsider angles, counting on the curve to help you reach the otherwise inaccessible target. Enemies will start to highlight weak points, hit enough of those, and you'll be able to redirect the bullet midair, which becomes necessary when psychic cults have a giant glowing orbs of protection. Armored enemies will need a longer shot, manually pushing the bullet to ridiculous speed to shed throughout their protection. The enemy variety isn't massive, but Children of the Sun uses interesting positioning and environmental layout to make you think throughout each encounter. The level design is incredibly put together. Each area has enough littered around to make you concentrate on a clean line of the fire. The bullet bending helps you to navigate spaces creatively, dodging and ducking throughout the cards and around the pillars. Some enemies will be in huts, others in towers, while a select few will be whipping around the level in the cars. Closely grounded enemies will start to reach to the fair friends, getting their heads down blown open as they try to run off. The plan you set at the beginning of each level is important, but reacting to the levels is even more so. Each level has you trying to rack up highest score possible with the online leaderboards on the display. Points are calculated using a few metrics, including time in level, body parts shot, and distance. Finding the best route throughout each encounter is challenging and a ton of fun. There are secret challenges with only a hint on the level selection screen to help guide the way. Wish each level had a harder difficulty that would remix the enemy types of locations to use the space more. The art, the style, the graphics, and the musical fit all the game perfectly. The forests are covered in the darkness. The fires are brightly displayed, target lighting the way. Levels bend around the bullet as it accelerates, and colors warp into the acid tangled displays. It feels dark and grungy, fitting the ravaged tale of the Children of the Sun as a vivid and uncomfortable animated cutscenes play out. The music is oppressive and heavy and complements each level perfectly. Performance-wise, Children of the Sun ran with absolutely no issues on both my computer and the Steam Deck. I played the majority of the game on the deck, and I had a fantastic time with it. The levels make it incredibly easy to pick up and put down when it's needed. It ran at stable 60 FPS, and I experienced no technical issues whatsoever. Children of the Sun is one of my favorite games in this year and one of the most interesting projects to look at, and I dare you and advise you to check on it. It makes you feel like a badass as you guide the bullet as it soars through each level. Figuring out on the route to help you to progress is so satisfying, while diving back into the optimal route highest score is challenging and also it is rewarding. Well, Children of the Sun is available April 9 and on Steam, and also it is verified on the Steam Deck. Well, that would be it. Thank you so much for waiting and checking on me. We'll see. Talk to you later, guys. Oh, please subscribe to my channel and hit a comment and like button. Yep. Bye.